Welcome back. Prime Minister Modi is scheduled to visit landslide-struck Wayanad in Kerala on Saturday, the 10th of August, where the Prime Minister will be taking an aerial view of the affected areas. He will also be interacting with those who are in relief camps. Over 10,000 people are currently sheltered. The Kerala government is also facing a task of rehabilitating the survivors of the Wayanad landslide who are currently sheltered in various camps. The government has to find temporary houses, preferably in Wayanad itself. We have my colleague Vasudha joining us. Vasudha, take us through the plan of the Prime Minister. He is expected to land in Kannur. He is expected to take an aerial survey of the area, and he'll also be interacting with the survivors of the disaster.
Absolutely, Divya. What we understand is that the details are still being worked out. The Prime Minister is expected to be in Kerala this weekend. Saturday is what the state government authorities have been told. In fact, there was a review that was done by the Prime Minister's team and the SPG yesterday on the feasibility of the Prime Minister's travel to Meppadi and other affected places. Remember that several villages in Wayanad have been isolated. The roads have been broken. The infrastructure is completely collapsed. So clearly there have to be arrangements that have to be made, and the Prime Minister is also, as my sources say, very insistent on basically taking a complete review of what really happened. So there's a possibility that he could be actually visiting these affected, places where affected people are also there. She could also be visiting relief camps. He could also be interacting with them. Remember that Kerala has been on the minds of the Prime Minister for many years now. This is a state that he has often visited. In fact, he was there even before elections for Suresh Gopi's daughter's wedding in Thrissur. He has visited the state several times. So this landslide tragedy which has happened has shaken the nation because more than 350 people have been dead. Rahul Gandhi was also there a couple of days ago, and in fact yesterday in the parliament Rahul Gandhi did talk about announcing this as a national disaster. The Prime Minister's visit is of specific importance because the Environment Ministry has also come out with a notification on expediting the ESZ notification for Wayanad and the Western Ghats. So clearly the centre is looking at this very carefully and monitoring the situation, and the Prime Minister's visit will also be some sort of a healing touch to the victims there.
Right, of course, we will keep track of that story. Thank you so much, Vasudha, for getting us those details. And it is the Election Commission that is visiting Jammu and Kashmir. This is a two-day visit. It's led by the Chief Election Commissioner, Rajiv Kumar. This is a visit of the Election Commission to seek a feedback when it comes to the political leaders and the civil and security officials. This is in the Union Territory after the abrogation of Article 370. So a huge, the Election Commission that will be there over the next 48 hours to meet with top political leaders in Srinagar. This visit comes just before the Assembly elections deadline, that is the Assembly post deadline of the 30th of September. We have my colleague Nazir joining us. Nazir, take us through what all is on the agenda.
Well, in an hour, in next 2 hours, this election commission, full election commission headed by Rajiv Kumar, Chief Election Commissioner, will be arriving in Srinagar. And then they will start series of meetings with the national and the regional parties here in Srinagar. So political parties would be giving their feedback. They have been talking about level playing field. They have been talking about holding elections now without any further delay. The deadline set by the Supreme Court, which is the September 30. This deadline was set by the Supreme Court in December last year while hearing Article 370, rather giving the verdict on Article 370, and they directed this Election Commission of India to hold elections in Jammu and Kashmir by September 30, and also asked the central government to restore the statehood as soon as possible. During his visit in June, Prime Minister Narendra Modi in Srinagar announced that elections will be held very soon in Jammu and Kashmir so that they can elect their representatives who can resolve their day-to-day problems. And also, statehood also will be restored. Now, Election Commission is finally reaching here with the Jammu and Kashmir finally see an elected government after a long gap. The last assembly election in Jammu and Kashmir were held in 2014. So imagine 10-year long gap, which is the longest gap in the history of Jammu and Kashmir, and J&K is without an elected government for last more than 6 years. The elected government, PDP, BJP government fell after BJP withdrew its support from Mehbooba Mufti-led government in June 2018. Since then, J&K is under the direct center rule. Now, Election Commission coming, it is now a union territory. There was a delimitation, which was a controversial in many ways, and now Election Commission will take a feedback from the political parties. Then Commission will meet the deputy commissioners and district SPs to take their feedback and review the preparations for the upcoming elections. Then they will be meeting with the chief electoral officers, chief secretary, director general of police, and other officials of the Union Territory Administration before going back to Jammu. And tomorrow, Election Commission is expected to hold a press conference in the evening in Jammu before they head back to Delhi. And it's expected that a final decision on holding elections and announcing the poll dates and notification for election may be decided after August 15th.
Right, all eyes on that key visit of the Election Commission. We will keep tracking